Just my opinion. Just my MT.
Hey everybody, this is the Spiritual Stud,
And I am MT, baby.
and we want to welcome you to the latest episode of Just My Opinion, where we're going to start a series on sex. Let us proceed with the disclaimer. This is for those who are 18 and above.
And over.
Above. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Just giving you time to get the kids out the room.
Yeah.
Bye.
Tuck them in.
Yeah.
Say good night. It's time for the adults to chat.
Yes. Time to get busy. Daddy would say. But I'm daddy.
This is going to be crazy. I'm telling you right now, it's about to be a bumpy ride. Buckle up, Buttercup.
Woo. Are y'all ready? They ready?
I think they ready.
All right. Okay, so shall we start with the spiritual or the flesh?
That's a good question. I say we go on with the spiritual first. Let's just go on and get that
out the way.
Get that out the way. Just go on and speak on it. Let the folks know what you got to say.
Okay, so first off, we all know that a lot of us come from church. And in the church, sex is a negative thing unless you happens to be married to one of the opposite sex. And one, not polyamorous, not sister wives, not Jane and Jane, and not Steve and Stan. All of that is X'd out. It's only one way. That is what the church teaches. Now, that's not talking about what the Bible teaches, because we know in the Bible they had like several wives, and then some of them had 700 concubines.
700 concubines.
That ain't including all the doggone foreign women he was marrying. Now, you know they had lots of them. Let's just be real. That was their culture, right? That was their culture. So as we traverse through the Word of God, it states that man should not lay with man as he doth with a woman. And it also states that man shall not lay with a woman who happens to be on her period. Therefore, we shall ignore that. Now, we told you. Y'all best be ready.
Get ready.
Get ready.
Put your seatbelt on.
Because we got to deal with the reality of the situation. And the reality of the situation is that we's all grown. And we are part of this community, which means that we are same gender loving, which means that the Bible does not speak on that as far as sexuality. So let's be real. The Bible does not talk about two consenting adults in a loving relationship. Period. It does not. Therefore, we cannot look towards the Bible for this kind of conversation. Neither would you want to, being the stuck-up prudes that most Christians seem to be. But they're not, really. They behind closed doors are freaks. We all know it. We know that. But let's get to it. God has been placed in position to be an overlord or an overseer of your body, which means that you cannot do anything without God's permission with your body. However, God created your body with certain nerve endings in certain places that you have to be real about. Everybody can't have kids. Everybody can't have kids. So if you can't have kids, all these nerve endings that's in your body, you're supposed to stay what? Dormant. And they don't. I mean, let's be real. You ain't even got to touch yourself. Sometimes you just think of something. Or is that just me?
No, no.
I'm just saying. We have to understand that God is not a human being, but God is wiser. God, what did you say just before we started? Before God created anything, God was with wisdom, right? And in God and wisdom's thinking, if we're going to do this, we've got to do this right.
Right. Absolutely.
And so when man was created, yeah, God was like, here's some animals. But then God was like, that's not good enough. He ain't gonna be happy with just that. Let me give him some company. And but it's a whole long, we ain't gonna get into that. But there was Eve, and they multiplied. Now, let's get to brass tacks. When it comes down to sex, for us people, we have to get outside of the way a man and a woman is. We cannot be a man and a woman. If we're two women, we can, as Flame says, love our genitalia. Because if you hate it, you ain't going to be able to use it.
Right on.
So you have to learn to love those parts of you that you might not care for. Because to be honest with you, there are some things that I would not like to have. But they're there. So we got to go with what we got. You got to use what you got. God, that's, hey, and what's the prize at the end of the rainbow? God is not there to make us comfortable. We have to be real. God sees everything we're doing. It ain't no secret. Sex is not a secret to God. God's everywhere. But God is a spirit, so God ain't exactly watching. Let's get that out of our heads too. God is watching. Not really. I mean, God knows. God knows what you're doing because God knows everything. But God is not human. God does not have eyes. But God can see. How does that work? Because God is energy. Energy is everywhere. Everywhere. Energy is here, there, everywhere in us. God sees through our eyes. That means God's seeing through everybody's eyes. So God sees. But you cannot tell people what to do in their bedrooms based on spiritual dogma. Just, you can't. And that's what's been going on. And that's why we got people who are so tight.
Sexually repressed.
Finland. No. Iceland. Cold. Unresponsive. Sex starts up here. And if we cannot believe that God wanted us to use our bodies not only for birthing babies, but for pleasure, we have a problem. So that's why we're doing the podcast. Because those of us in our community, we have a lot of stressors. We have a lot of things that come against us. And the last thing we need is people always invading our bedroom, which they tend to like to do. They like to tell us what we're doing wrong, why we wrong, what we supposed to be doing, and who we supposed to be doing it with, and why. And there's only one reason: procreation. Well, that falls flat on its face because everybody can't procreate. Now, the earth is full. It's so full that some countries tell you can only have one kid. Was that God's plan? I'm just asking. Was that God's plan? We have to be real, open, and honest. If you're in a position where you're struggling with your religion and you're struggling with your attraction towards the same gender, and you're one of those people who say, I'd rather be celibate, fine. That's your decision. We're not coming against you. That's what you believe. For you, that's good. But if you say, I'm being celibate because I have to be, I don't want to be, but I don't want to go against God and what God has for me. If you're having doubts because you're afraid, your life is not happy. You're not happy in that decision. You're just making it because you feel like people are pushing you towards it. And if people are pushing you towards making that decision, you need to get somewhere by yourself and get with God. Stop talking to these folks because they're going to tell you what they want you to do, not what God wants you to do. You got to. I'm not going to tell you what to do. I don't know about your body. I can't tell you what's in your head. But what I can tell you is I have been with God through my struggles. I have been celibate. I've lived that life. Let me tell you, baby, it wasn't for me. Just was not for me. I had a friend right here. So I wasn't celibate. I tried it. I ain't gonna lie. Ain't no need to lie right now. Ain't no need to lie right now.
Right?
You try it. It don't work. Be real. Be honest. I did. I tried it. I didn't have a girlfriend. I didn't even have a friend girl. But I had a friend.
But I had a friend.
And you know what? You got to be honest. You got to come to the point where you're being honest with yourself because God already knows. God already knew me. God's like, that girl ain't going to last. She is not going to last. But let's let go ahead. Let's see this. Let's see how long this is. I got 10 on it. I got 10 on a month. You know, they gambling up in heaven on me. Peter said, no, God, I ain't going to even take that bet. Just saying. I know we having fun, but truth is truth.
Yeah, it is.
God loves us regardless. God loves you regardless of who you sleeping with. God don't care about that. God says, love me. God, the source of everything wants your love. And as long as you love God or the source, you can love freely. That's it.
Without the dog.
Without it. You don't need that. Do I have anything else to say? No? I think I've done it all. At least for this point. I'm going to turn it over to my partner over here, and she about to get down and dirty. But
let me tell you something, baby. Let me talk to you. Listen, Linda.
Okay.
Linda, listen. First of all, I've got a real problem with the creation story. We're going to address this at some point in time, but I ain't got enough hours in the day to go there.
Right.
So what I'm just going to simply tell you is, for those that are procreation is, it's like when you should only have sex while you're in the bonds of marriage and to procreate.
That's right. Mm-hmm.
Keep in mind that when Adam and Eve were in the garden, they were formed physical beings, correct? They were two humans in the garden.
Yeah.
They were formed physically. They had all the parts all together. It wasn't just spirit. Mm-hmm. It was physical parts. Mm-hmm. Okay. They had that prior to the fall. Mm-hmm. The original plan was never for them to procreate. Mm-hmm. You got to use your brain, my loves. You got to use your brain. The original plan, they had sexual organs before the plan was to, and they were told to, procreate. Mm-hmm. So you mean to tell me that while they was in the garden before, because we don't know the time frame exactly. Right. We don't know exactly, like, were they in the garden for 20 years? Right. And then it was like, oh, you ate the fruit, get out? Or was they in the, a year, months, a couple days? Like, we don't know the time frame. All we know is it was two of them. Mm-hmm. They both had sexual parts. Mm-hmm. They was in the garden. Mm-hmm. And then Eve ate the fruit. And they got kicked out. And God was like, go be fruitful and multiply. Get out of here. Okay.
Leave my tree alone.
So my question to you is, what was they doing in that garden?
Frolicking.
You know what I'm saying? You got sexual parts. You in the garden. You got all this beauty surrounding you. And you mean to tell me y'all wasn't doing nothing? They wasn't doing nothing? They was just walking around, eating fruit and hanging out. Literally hanging out. And the shame and the nakedness, we're going to address that too later. But I just want you to know that, once again, like you have so eloquently said, when God created, when wisdom moved and God created and we became physical beings, God was like, we got to get this right. I got that from Pastor Ambassador L.F. Craig. That's my homie. All right. We got to get this right. You know, if we're going to make people, human beings, we got to give them everything that they need to enjoy their life on the earth. Right. Because we could have very well been created without sexual parts. Yeah. There are scriptures that point to the fact that some angelic beings are neither male nor female. Right. Okay? We could have been born, we could have been created like that. Right. But we were supposed to be created in the image of God, which is the spirit. And then we've got this other stuff. You know, we could have been created without thumbs. Right. There's all kinds of limitless as God. So it's limitless possibilities of what we could have. Yeah. But what he gave us, and take your pens and pencils out for this one, was 27 erogenous zones. 27 I bet y'all don't even know. Do you know half of them? Do you know where half of them are? And some of them are not in the genitalia area. Erogenous zones. Why would a loving God who created you put 27 pleasure places within your body that are activated with hormones and other sensual touch if the purpose was only procreation? There didn't have to be pleasure with sex. See what I'm saying? And sometimes, depending on who you have sex with, it ain't. But anyway. Just saying. Moving on. Okay, so this is what I'm trying to get at. Look, what I'm trying to say is this. You were created a physical being, but you are spirit and physical. Mm-hmm. And to deny the fact that you have all your parts is like to deny the fact that you have lungs, or to deny the fact that you have a heart, or that you have skin. Like, your sexual genitalia is a part of you. It's a part of you. And when you're in our community, we have such negative dogma. I talk with my coworkers all the time about sex, and they're straight, you know. And it's just like they talk about how in Christianity it was like, oh, you can only do missionary. Yep, that's all you can do, only missionary. And then they're like, ain't nobody trying to do that. Ain't nobody, I don't know about you, but you want to do one sexual position for the rest of your life because your pastor, in their ignorance, said that's all you're supposed to do. Come on now. We got to do better. We got to do better. We got to open up, literally and figuratively. And we've got to start having these conversations. Because if we don't put it out there, we're going to be stuck still mentally repressed, sexually repressed in our thinking that we only can do certain things within a very streamlined thing if we want God's approval. Mm-hmm. And that's just not necessarily true. It's not true. And once again, like you said, if you feel like celibacy is for you and you come to that decision, you know, through your own spiritual path, good for you. I know I was celibate for a long time. Long time. Well, semi-celibate. Okay, so I don't want nobody trying to come for me. Be like, is she on there lying? Okay, so I was semi-celibate. There, I said it. It was a few little things that happened, which we shall not speak of, because I ain't trying to throw nobody under the bus. But anyway, what had happened was, we could try. We tried. Just to me, it's the same argument as same gender loving people. Mm-hmm. How many times do we try to not be gay, or try to not be bi, or try to not be trans? Whatever of the spectrum you fall into, you can try, and you can try. And I'm not saying that there isn't a goal, not to not be who you are, but maybe there's an ideal goal that you have in your head of marriage and family and children, or a safe, loving sexual relationship. And there's these goals that we have. But in the meantime and in between time, we got to discuss this stuff. You have to get real comfortable. And the funny thing is, the more you talk about it, the less taboo it is. I think, I don't know for sure, which it'll be interesting to find out during this series. But I think I might have heard it all sexually. I might have. I done heard of some freaky stuff, okay? But I plan on sharing with you. Okay? It's okay. We're gonna talk about it. It's okay. Get your counselor on speed dial so you in case something comes up that you know you want to speak to somebody, a professional about. But I'm just saying that these things happen. You know, we are spiritual beings, but we also have a physical body. There's a physical body. And we have to acknowledge that God, in wisdom, within wisdom, combined together, gave us this DNA that is unique and that is us. And maybe that's the point. Maybe the whole point is not to suppress and repress everything that we have. Maybe the point is to open ourselves up to the freedom of choice.
Because he gave you choice.
Free will.
Free will.
We could have been created without free will. He said, live life, God said. Live life and live more abundantly. And how can you be more abundant if you ain't willing to try nothing? If you're not willing, how can you live a life full of fear and dogma, thinking you constantly going to hell, and using the Bible as your bedroom secrets, to keep your bedroom secrets? Come on now, we got to do better. Okay, what's the matter? I say something I wasn't supposed
Bedroom
to.
secrets.
Well,
The Bible keeping bedroom secrets.
What I'm saying is,
yes, explain.
I'm explaining.
Okay.
Listen, you go to the hotel. What's in the nightstand?
Gideon Bible.
The Gideon Bible.
That's
That Bible was put there to try to keep them from doing stuff they wasn't supposed to do.
That Bible been hearing, heard, sing.
That's what I mean. The Bible is holding the secrets. The Bible done seen it all. Everything. You know what I'm saying? You got what you doing within the sanctity of your relationship.
Yeah.
You cannot use, like you just said, the Bible as a way to oh, well, I shouldn't do this, because the Bible is not a sexual guide.
Right.
It's not. There are some rules in there which they came from man, which that's questionable about what some of them wrote. We'll probably discuss that later. But the whole point is, you cannot use the Bible as a sexual guide. Y'all keep holding on to the Bible, thinking, oh, I've got to be secretive and I can't share and I can't talk about this because of the dogma and because of the scriptures that you have been forced to believe are for your benefit, to get you closer to God. When all reality, we have been created as sexual beings. Now, there are some people who do identify as non-sexual. That's fine. Anything that you look, it's fine. If you feel like you don't have sexual attractions, that's fine. But if you do have sexual attractions, I want you to understand that Bible is not there as a sexual guide. Y'all got your Bible by tonight? I just look. Let me tell you something. Then I'm shut up for real. I have had relations with someone who kept a Bible on the nightstand because that was supposed to keep them from doing the freaky stuff that we was gonna do. It didn't work. That's all I'm saying. It didn't work. I don't know what you thought you was gonna do. Is what, roll over and then all of a sudden see the Bible there, and then all of a sudden we was gonna stop. It don't work. Okay, it's not. There's a place and time for everything. That Bible on that nightstand, this Christian lady that I had relations with, honey, that's not gonna keep us from doing this nasty gutter butt freaky stuff we're about to do. It ain't gonna stop a thing, okay? Because you want to do it. You done gave me consent. I believe in consent. You said yes. So what we're gonna do is slide that to the side, and we're gonna do what we came to do.
Then she gonna read the Bible and feel guilty.
And feel guilty afterwards. That's on you. I feel great. Just saying. I feel great. And I don't feel no type of way about it. I'm just saying. So, like I said, I told y'all to buckle up.
This is gonna be interesting.
Because, honey, I plan on sharing way too much information with you. Yeah, and we was doing some stuff. We were doing some stuff. So, hey, it's funny in my life that I've come a long way. You know, I was a super freak. I did a lot of freaky stuff. I tried a lot of different things. Some I like, some I never do again. But all in all, it's like now I've calmed back down, and now I'm almost to the point of like asexuality. Like I'm like, yeah, because for me, I've got so many issues. Like my knees hurt, my hands hurt. I got the palsy face.
Let's go through that thing. We go.
I know I might have been a tad too far, but I told y'all. I'm sorry. I told you.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, it ain't all gonna be boring as you can tell. Cause she killing me over here. Oh my God. All right, so we had technical difficulties. As you can see, my glasses off because I had to work on that. But I'm gonna let MT finish up, and then we're gonna wrap it up.
Well, the whole point of us doing this series is twofold. For me, it's about making sure that you have good information and resources. But for two, it's also so that we can all reevaluate how we feel about spirituality and sex. Because I think that it is something that those in our community especially are beat over the head with, and that we have those stigmas and traumas in the back of our mind that we need to talk about, because we can't get anywhere if we don't talk about these things.
Right.
And so that's why I really wanted to do this series about sex.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be a roller coaster, and I'll probably be over here cracking up most of the time because this is her thing, and I'll just add my 2 cents, and the rest of the time I'll be laughing. So until the next time, keep watching. Please subscribe to our channel, like and share. We thank you guys for just sticking with us and watching. And this journey is just starting. This is a new adventure, and we're doing the doggone thing. So stick with us. Keep going. Keep smiling. I'm the Spiritual Stud.
And y'all ready?
We's out of here. Peace.